Hello and welcome back, and hello for the first time if you've never come to my channel. This is the final race of the Pacific Raceways Circuit Series. We're about one lap in, and there's been a one-man breakaway going, and we're just pulling him back right now. I'm sitting a little far back in the field, and gonna move up here in just a second, just so I'm not kind of at the back end of the field. I kind of tag on behind Warren Atke here, and right in front of him is Thomas Happelmeyer, who Happelmeyer. Anyway, he is the 2024 National Road Race Champion for the ages 70 to 74. So that is pretty awesome, and it's Thomas Happelmeyer. So anyway, um, beautiful day out, good turnout here, and looking forward to a fun race. There's a little bit of series dynamics going on. We're going to jump ahead here in a second towards the end of this next lap now that we've caught that breakaway rider. So I'm still sitting behind Warren, and we're coming into basically, I think, the second lap. And see a few guys kind of stringing it out up front. In this race, the most important thing for me is the overall series. I'm currently tied for sixth place um, with Tyler Markegard, and we're both 1 point behind Matt Hill from Drop Bar Racing. So in my mind, I want to keep my eye on both of those guys. I don't really want it to come down to a sprint. I'd love to get into a breakaway, ideally without either of those two guys in the break, but that might be tough since Matt Hill is a strong breakaway rider. So I got Nate in front of me right here from Revolution Cycling, and he's a strong breakaway rider, and he goes for it. So I thought, well, love to make it hard, but if you look back there, off to my left and to my right were both Matt Hill and Tyler right up at the front. Anyway, Nate takes off. I join him, and we start on our breakaway. This is about 9 minutes into an hour-long race, and so it's a long way to go, but I know Nate is super strong, and I know he's typically motivated to make a break work. So I figured, might as well go for it. You'll see in a second, but I do notice that Tyler has joined us. So at the moment, it's three of us. There's two other guys that are trying to bridge across. So we'll end up with a break. There's Tyler right there. He is unattached. Then we got Nate, and then we got myself, and then we got two other guys coming up pretty rapidly. And they should be joining us once we get around this bend here. Alright, so there we got somebody from Fell Swoop, I apologize, don't know his name, and somebody from Organic Gnar Harvest. So right now we've got a five-man breakaway going. Coming around here, and this unfortunately is the last we'll see of the two other breakaway riders. So it's only been another lap, but basically they lasted one lap with us. And so now it's back down to just Nate and Tyler and myself. Tyler is a very strong rider. This is, I think, his first year racing, and yeah, I think he won the first two races that he did out here in the 45 plus category. So I know he's super strong. I know it's Nate's strong. Problem is that both Tyler and I, as I mentioned, are tied for 6th place. And it's not really ideal to have him in the break since I'm trying to hopefully win some points and move ahead and get into 5th place. But at least Matt Hill is currently not with us. It's just the three of us. I actually don't think that Tyler knew what place he was in overall, which probably worked to my advantage a little bit. So we're going to roll this break for a while. We do notice that we've got a 4-man chase group that is behind us. And I can't quite tell who is in the break, but I do know that one of my teammates is in that break. I'm assuming that it's Ron because Ron is a very good breakaway rider and very strong. So I did talk to him before the race kind of about what I was trying to accomplish. So that is good news. He kind of knows the plan. So here we go. We are still rolling around the track, still just the three of us. I think we did about 3 laps on our own, and then the other group catches us. Not yet. We still have about a half a lap before they catch up to us. I think at this point we were trying to decide whether to just kind of wait, but Nate's like, just keep rolling through. Since I had one guy in the break, I probably should have played my cards a little better and maybe just kind of held back and let them rotate through until we got caught. I don't really consider myself a breakaway rider. I consider myself more of a sprinter. That being said, I have been focusing on longer miles and more endurance stuff because I've been doing some gravel races. So I think my breakaway abilities are a little bit better than they were earlier in the year. To say this is probably one of my favorite races around here. I usually do the 45 plus at 5:30, which lasts an hour, and then do the 35 plus masters, which starts at 6:45 and usually lasts 45 minutes to an hour, depending on light. I found that the 45 plus is more exciting and interesting. Typically, it's a good sized field, but not too big of a field. Usually have the right amount of teammates in here, usually probably 4 or 5 teammates, maybe up to 6 teammates. This year we had, or this race, we had Scott Stout, we had James Kokorin in here, we had Ron and myself, we had Emily and Aiko in the women's division that were also racing in this. All right, so we've been caught by the other group of 4, and I'll kind of name them as we go through. So Nate's on the front right now with Revolution Racing. And now coming through with Liquid Velo is Bradley Haley. He is very strong right now. I think he's sitting in 3rd. Then right behind him is Matt Hill from Drop Bar Racing, my teammate Ron, and then Greg Hoagland from Taco Tie. So unfortunately, Matt made it across. I'm not so worried about Bradley in terms of the overall, because there's no way I'm going to catch him, but he's a super strong sprinter and he's super strong cyclist anyway, so he's good to have in the break. Um, and then Greg Hoagland from Taco Time, also excellent rider and very strong sprinter. So those are basically, as far as who's in the break, 3 of us would probably be considered sprinters, and 3 of us would be considered breakaway riders. Although Tyler, he could be a combination of both. So I would say you've got Bradley and Greg and myself and Tyler, which are probably the sprinters, and then you've got Matt and Nate and Ron, which are more rollers, breakaway specialists, super strong. So it's a good composition of break. We've got a good lead on the field at this point. I think by the end of the race, we'll have almost a full half lap on the field. So we're pretty secure that this is going to go down to the end, and this is going to be the composition of the group. It was an interesting race because the dynamics of, the series points and all that is kind of the fun part. Oh, also there are 2 preem laps in this race, and you get a point towards the series standing if you win the preem. So that was another thing that I had to be aware of. And this is a preem lap. We're going into the first preem lap, and so I've got to make sure or hope that Matt and Tyler don't get any points. You see Matt in 3rd position right now. Tyler's right on his wheel. Unfortunately, I'm not in the best position because I'm kind of at the back behind Ron here. And there goes Matt. He's going to go try to take those points. Tyler's on his wheel. I kind of feel like I don't want to burn too many matches trying to catch up to them at this point. I also know Greg's a good sprinter, so I'm thinking if I can let him slot in and we can stay up with them, then maybe I can get a lead out from him. We're all pretty much back together. Bradley's behind me, Greg's in front of me. And then Ron, my teammate, goes, which is great because I don't have to chase him. Hopefully he can stay away and get those preem points, and that way Tyler and Matt don't get any. And thankfully that's what happens. Ron gets the first preem lap. So only one more to worry about. Right now everybody's working together pretty well in the break, but then I think Matt takes off again. I don't think he wants to leave it to a full-on sprint. I think he'd rather break this breakaway up. I'm going to get some help from Ron right here, and he's going to bridge that gap so that we're all pulled back together. Thank you, Ron. Once we're back together again, Matt goes for it again. Don't think it's that big of a deal since Tyler's not with him, so I think with 6 of us working together, we can chase him down, so no panicking at this point. Still a bit early in the race, I think, to be trying to break up the breakaway. It'd be better if we would have just kind of kept working together more seamlessly for a little bit longer, even though we do have a pretty good gap on the field. All right, we pulled Matt back, all back together. I think we're going to play nice for a few laps. Or not. Looks like there's a little bit of a break going there. I think that was Greg and Tyler, and then Bradley shoots on up to them. No, it wasn't Greg. Sorry. That was Nate. Nate and Bradley. I know I've got Matt and Ron with us still, so I figured they're going to pull it back. At this point, we've got about 10 miles left in the race, so that's about 5 more laps. Bradley was wondering why we weren't working together seamlessly, and I was explaining to him that we were all fighting for 5th place in the series, and he's like, okay, that makes more sense now. Right now in the series, Doug Davis from Mercedes is in 1st place, and Andrew Martin from 10-Speed Hero is in 2nd. I think they're both back in the field, but their overall positions are secure. They're not going to be worried about us because nobody else can catch them. All right, we're on another preem lap. Just telling Bradley I needed him to take the preem so that Tyler and Matt didn't get it. He's like, if your teammate doesn't get it, obviously I'd be happy if Ron got it again. So we're coming into the sprint. It's a ways away, but I still don't want to be on the front, unfortunately. I am, so, and I think I've got Tyler right behind me right now, and he doesn't seem to want to pull through. That's smart of him. I'm just hoping somebody else pulls through so I don't have to do the lead out. because that would not be good. I swing over to try to get somebody to go past me, and then Tyler immediately goes. I'm able to get on his wheel here. But unfortunately, he gets me on the line. So that means that he is now 1 point ahead of me. He's tied with Matt for the series lead. So I am the one that's sitting in 6th place, while they're tied in 5th. So I've got to get 2 points more than either of them at the finish. So when they place 1st through 5th for points. So I think 1st place is 5 points, 2nd place is 4, 3rd is 3, and so on. So again, I basically have to be 2 spaces ahead of them if we're in the top 5, or have them not score at all in the final. You score at least 2 points. So I've got to get 4th or better, assuming they don't get any more points. And there goes Matt. I think that's Tyler off the front there. Actually, I know it is. Yep, so he's off. But again, 6 against 1 feels like pretty good odds. And we still got 6 miles to go.
No. Just Matt doing that things.
Don't know if Tyler thought that was a preem, but he drifts back to the group. I actually think he actually ended up getting dropped there. I think he thought it was a preem or something, went a little hard, and then got dropped from the group. So that's good news for me. I'm thinking, all right, we're down 1. Nope, I apologize. Nope, he didn't get dropped then. He got back on. All right, and now Nate goes. And then Tyler follows. Right now, I'm kind of playing a waiting game to see if somebody else is going to take up the chase, and Ron, my teammate, does, thankfully. And we're at 2 laps to go. And this is actually where Tyler falls off. Again, I think he just wasn't aware of what lap it was, whether he was sprinting, and I don't know if he thought it was a preem or if he thought it was the end. Anyway, so right now he is no longer part of the break, and we've got 2 laps to go. So that is good news for me. There goes Matt again. He's quickly caught. Basically, we're playing games now. We've got quite a gap on the field. Pointing out, I think, was Bradley. So we're all kind of playing games. There goes Matt. Greg's right on it. I was hoping Ron would slot in there, but that's okay. Jump up to Nate. We're all back together again. One problem with this is Tyler is slowly closing the gap on us since we keep playing around and are not working coordinatedly. So right now with the composition of the break, I'm feeling pretty good. I figure that Bradley and Greg and myself are probably the strongest sprinters out of the 6. And as long as we can finish 1, 2, 3 in some sort of order, and somebody can be ahead of Matt, possibly Ron or Nate, then I would be in good position. So here we go, final lap, 1 lap to go. I think everybody's expecting Matt to make one last effort to break away from the rest of us. I'm keeping my eye on him, and everybody else is just kind of watching and waiting as well. I think at this point we realize that Tyler is coming up quick, and he might end up connecting back with us, which obviously is not very good for my possibilities because, you know, he's already a point ahead of me, so he's got to finish 2 places behind me in the sprint. So he just beat me in a sprint, so we know he's strong there. typically in this stretch of the track, we're usually going 30 miles an hour or higher, so you can tell that we're just kind of messing about. So Tyler's joined us again. There he is. That's not great news, but good for him. Not surprising given that we're just kind of, playing games. I am hoping that he is a little bit gassed from trying to make it back up to us. But I've got the two main competitors for me right in front of me there. Got 1 mile left to go. Matt's putting in a little bit of dig. Thankfully, Tyler is chasing him down, so that is actually really good news for me because that means they're going to use some more energy. Alright, that kind of failed, so we're all watching each other again. And Tyler was on the front. Again, good news for me. And Ron goes, so that's great. And I see Greg going, and I know Greg's a good sprinter, so I figure I'll try to get on their wheel and hopefully drop Matt and Tyler. At this point, I think I noticed that Matt and Tyler weren't there, so instead of just sitting on the wheel, I decided to just lead it out. I knew it was kind of a losing effort in terms of placing for first place, but I figured it'd be better to drop those guys, Tyler and Matt, hopefully get the points I need to secure fifth. So Bradley and Greg passed me there. Bradley winning, Greg getting second. I ended up third, and Tyler and Matt did not score any points. So I was able to secure fifth place overall for the season. Super fun race. Looking forward to next year, and hopefully can be a little bit higher up that podium. Thanks, guys.